Welcome to UNCAGED, a show that celebrates thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the commerce of tomorrow. Today, we have the amazing Barry Frey on the show. Hey, Barry, how are you?
And good to see you, and thank you for calling me amazing. I don't get that much, but that's very kind of you.
Well, it's great to have Barry on the show. Barry is the president and CEO of the DPAA, that is the Global Digital Out-of-Home Trade and Marketing Association. We'll be talking a lot about outdoor advertising and outdoor marketing opportunities, and we'll also be talking about their summit that's coming up next week. But before we do that, Barry, you've got an amazing background, amazing career in the industry. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your career today.
Sure, thanks, Bent, and thank you for doing this. It's great to see you again. I can't wait to see you in person. It's been much too long for that.
Been too long, buddy.
Absolutely. So, in a way, Bent, I've always had the same job. I've always noticed where technology has affected media. And then I've been, for better or worse, on the forefront of helping the advertisers, brands, agencies, media owners embrace those changes that technology has brought to media. So in the early days, when technology came to television, I was with Ted Turner and at Turner Broadcasting. And Ted and I made a lot of sales calls helping the advertising community embrace the changes at that time. And then I did similarly international cable, where with USA and Sci-Fi Channel and the Hallmark Channel, I ran sales and marketing, once again bringing the multiplicity of cable channels to the rest of the world, and was also part of the launch team domestically and ran biz dev at USA. And then at the NBA, I helped build NBA.com, reporting to David Stern. Once again, technology affected media. And then at Cablevision, I helped build the platforms for advertisers for digital, for mobile, for online, and very interestingly, for advanced television, addressable TV, and video on demand television at the time, which once again, same job, technology had come to media, and I helped develop products and help the advertising community understand what the technological innovations to media meant in terms of consumption of consumers and advertisers.
Well, I mean, I think that you've always been someone, Barry, that's been on that innovative edge of media and marketing. And I remember the first time that you talked to me about all of the stuff happening in the out-of-home space. And wow, what a transformation I think we've seen over the last 10 years in that industry. And so I'm actually really excited to hear what you guys have in store for the summit this year.
Yeah, the summit's going to be very exciting this year. We have a terrific group of brand leaders, agency leaders, thought leaders, newsmakers. We have the CMO of Walgreens. We've got leaders of brands from Clorox, from Beam Suntory, from American Express, heads of media from L'Oreal, Vice, and other companies, and plus the leaders at Stagwell Group and Universal McCann. And then we're going to have, as I'm a big believer in informing and educating via entertaining and exciting, we're going to have the Blue Men Group that's going to do some disruptions, and a wonderful up and coming singer from New Orleans that's going to be some more surprises. So it's a full day lineup, and we're going to be doing it all day on Tuesday, October 12th. By the way, I should say videoeverywhere.com can get you there. And if you can't get there, we're going to be doing 2 broadcasts Thursday and Friday of that week. And we're going to have some new added features in, and we're going to have Cadillac and Unilever and so many others. We even have Bob Leodis speaking from the ANA. And we're going to do 2 live broadcasts, which will have more entertainment, more information, and all of that will be great learning. So we're excited for the big summit this year, and we look forward to everybody coming out. New York is, knock wood, has been good. Theater is back. Broadway is back. The U.S. Open went off without a hitch. The Tonys, I should say. So we're looking forward to the Video Everywhere Summit coming back as well.
I mean, New York is unbeatable. It will definitely come back for sure. But I mean, looking at the stuff that you have on the docket for the summit, I mean, I see even during COVID the importance of what was happening in the outdoor advertising space. And we're looking at all of this news about the increasing marketing budgets that are popping up in the back half of this year and going into next year. I mean, what are you seeing in the broader landscape right now?
Yeah, we're seeing advertising coming back. We've also just completed a poll with advertising perceptions that shows a terrific embrace of digital out of home, of digital out of home programmatic, which we've been fomenting for many years now.
Yeah.
So that's good. And look, people are coming out, and also advertisers are realizing the value of having out of home as a trustworthy medium, especially in this environment of fake news, of echo chambers, and brand safety environments. The trustworthy nature of out of home has been great. And what I would say as well is that we've seen during COVID that programmatic out of home has enabled brands to pause schedules, to push, to move them around to where audiences are, demonstrating great agility and flexibility heretofore not seen in the out of home world. So that's been one of the superpowers that's been greatly demonstrated during this difficult COVID period. And what I would say also, Bant, is that we've taken this bit of a fallow period to connect all the pipes between demand side and sell side. So we're coming out pretty okay, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been an interesting moment we've been living through, Barry. As we all know, I've seen some of your, your posts, kind of talking about almost the perfect storm of events, from the COVID to even the big flood that we had in New York recently. But tell me about how this time has challenged the DPAA, as well as kind of what you're seeing coming out of this. I mean, any new shaping, new opportunities?
Sure, it has been a challenging time, and you're right. A lot of people on social have seen my new Olympic sport called fridge surfing, where I've been surfing the refrigerator floating in the lake in my basement
Yeah,
recently.
if anyone watching this hasn't seen that, please look at Barry Fry's feed. It's hilarious.
It's and actually the summit. Our topic is basically, and the name of our summit this year is Resilience, Reinvention, and Revitalization, which is what I was doing in my basement during Hurricane Ida, trying to reinvent a disaster into an Olympic sport. But yeah, it's been a fascinating year. Certainly, we all hunkered down at the beginning of this, and there were not people out and about. And we had to really re-engage. And we had a lot of elements behind our community that came together. And we found that we were able to introduce members to other members for representation, for funding, for digitization, for new forms of data. And our community, our global community, really became strong, where people needed not only this business acumen and the sharing of best practices that we do around the world, because digital crosses borders, but also the community of people, of a great collegial group of smart, passionate folks that believe in what we're doing, that help each other out personally, even during this challenging period. So, we, as I mentioned earlier, we figured out how to really dig in and build the programmatic pipes and demonstrate those superpowers of agility. And also we put members together for funding initiatives and for strategic and tactical initiatives. So as challenging as it has been, we found the power of community has been able to raise all ships here. And I'm proud of our global group and our teams that really dug down in a humanitarian and passionate way to help our business now, which is going to come out and be really pretty good.
Yeah, I can only see the future being bright in general for the out of home space, and certainly the digital out of home space, with all of the elements of being able to track the data, putting into a broader solution. I mean, were there any big things that were big winners during the last year in the out of home space? I mean, did people shift budgets, out of big cities, or I'd just be curious if there was any interesting
Well,
thing like that.
yeah, it's a good question. Because of the digital data and the plethora of data we have coming out now, we've been able to understand the movements of audiences. So, for instance, gas stations did really well during this period. The our members in the healthcare industry have always stayed because people still were going to healthcare. There was movement to the suburbs away from cities, and now we're seeing that's moving back. The good news about digitization of out of home is that we're able to go to where the audiences are. And for instance, they could be more prolific in Brooklyn, as an example, because people are living their lives more now. So the good news is, because it's now a digital industry, is that we're able to understand where audiences are and target them correctly, also delivering relevant audiences for them. So the good news is now with people and movements that we can still reach them with the brand advertising wherever they may be.
So Barry, I mean, I imagine it always comes up at the summits every year. What is on the horizon? What's the cool new thing that's happening in the space? Or should we just leave that for next week?
Yeah, well, there'll be some good research that will showcase next week. Also, of course, programmatic will continue to be
Yeah.
growing, and that really is the superpower. And once again, demonstrated the agility and flexibility during COVID. So we're seeing more money shift into that. We're seeing the breakdown of silos amongst agency groups to spend more in out of home. We're seeing share shift from video, from digital, from mobile into out of home budgets. And that will all continue as we increasingly digitize the medium.
Right. Barry, it's been great to hear the latest. I'm actually going to be back up in New York this week, and man, I think maybe I should stick around till next week to go to the summit. There have been key events that were kind of key calendar events that nobody wanted to miss in the marketing world, and the summit was always one of them. And so it's great to see it back and flourishing once again. Thank you again also for being on UNCAGED today. We've been talking to Barry Frey. Barry is the president and CEO of the DPAA, which is the Global Digital Out of Home Trade and Marketing Association. We've been talking about the latest in the out of home marketing space, lots of new iterations, continuing digitization, as well as the building out of the infrastructure for programmatic and a data-driven out of home model. Barry, thanks so much for being on the show, and congratulations on getting the show ready for next week. I'm excited to hear what comes out of the summit.
Great. Thank you, Bant. I can't wait to see you next week and everybody else there.
Awesome.
Great.
Talk soon.
Bye-bye.